Want to improve your stroke? I got one simple little tip for you. Give it the finger. What's that mean? Let's take a look. All right, got a really simple tip for you, and it might sound a little silly at first, but I want you to give it a try. If you don't think you have a real great stroke or a real good stroke or even an above average stroke, I would try this. Again, it's going to sound really silly, but give it a try. What it is you want to give it the finger. What does that mean? I don't mean flicking it off. I don't mean doing something profane or inappropriate. What I mean by that is your finish position, you're going to be pointing at the shot. Sounds wild, right? So what's a finish position? All right. So basically what that means is, and I'm not talking about the position or stance of Finland. I'm talking about what happens after you've made contact with the ball. So when I'm going to shoot this ball, I go through my shot, and that's my finish position. I like to think that there's a photographer that's just taking a long time to take my photo, so I like to hold that. And that kind of helps me quite a bit as well. When I think about that, I'm like, oh, I've got to hold the pose for the photographer. And, you know, a lot of people will say, wait till the cue ball stops moving before you get up, unless the cue ball is going to hit you. Try that. That helps. But again, the finish position, very important to stay still, stay down, don't jump up. But if you notice my back hand, my grip. So I grip the cue basically with these three fingers. This one's kind of back there. I'm not sure if it's doing much at all. But these three fingers. And when I go forward, my wrist action, I end up letting go with my index finger and pointing forward. And what that does is it gives me a nice wrist action. I end up throwing the cue a little bit with this finger. It ends up slipping back maybe half an inch or a whole inch, whatever. But at my finished position, I end up really following through. So if you have a problem with following through, if you have a problem with decelerating, giving your stroke the finger is going to help quite a bit. So again, I get down, I just point right at it. You'll notice a lot of pros will do that. Almost every pro will do that. But what they do is their end position, it looks like their front finger is like on the trigger of a rifle. But they're doing the same thing with their wrist. They're almost always finishing like that. What I'm doing is an exaggerated version of that, because what I'm telling myself is, if I don't follow through, if I shoot this shot and I decelerate and don't follow through, I'm pointing down. I need to point forward. So this is giving me a bit of a frame of reference. So if I'm not playing real well and I feel like I'm not shooting through the ball, this will help me out. Pointing at the ball. At the cue ball, at the object ball, in a straight line, basically. So, yeah, again, it's going to help with your wrist action. It's going to help with your stroke. The stroke is the reason you're making balls. The stroke is the reason that you're probably missing balls. If you have a fantastic stroke, you'll make a shot that you poorly aimed. If you have a bad stroke, you might miss a shot that you aimed pretty well on. So your stroke is everything. If you watch clips of interviews of Ronnie O'Sullivan, he talks about cue action. Cue action, cue action, cue action. It's just the English version of stroke. And every one of them, they're following through with their cue and their finger like that. So that's what a normal pro would do. I'm just extending the finger to emphasize it, to kind of help me out. So I know, like if I decelerate, if I don't follow all the way through, my finger's pointing down. I want it to point up. I want that wrist action. So give this a try. Super, super, super simple. I think you're going to like the results. Your cue ball is going to feel like it's exploding off the ball. You're going to feel like you're overrunning your shots because your cue ball is going further than you thought because you're getting more wrist action out of it. So now you might make more balls, but you're going to struggle playing position a little bit, but you're going to be able to get around the table so much easier by giving it the finger. Give it a try. Hope it helps.